real power comes in one, actually, in the models that you're using, just to kind of help you if you're stuck in a rut, content wise, if you're stuck in a rut, idea wise, just being able to kind of have a bunch of ideas that you can kind of pull from. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to AI Agentic Bros. And today we're going to be going over another YouTube n8n automation. Quickly, right before we hop into today's video, please like, comment, subscribe. We're posting n8n videos 3 to 4 times a week, so tune in. Also, if you're new to AI and want to start making money with AI, check out our AI starter kit. Link will be in the comments. We also have launched AI Gen Desk, an AI troubleshooting tool made specifically for n8n. It's trained on n8n's documentation, so please go ahead, check that out. It's meant for pros and beginners. Now, let's hop right into today's video. Basically, today is a YouTube trend alert system. I've kind of built it out pretty simply with a manual click to test workflow. Basically, what this code node does is it kind of pulls out the date from today, so the current date that we're in, and then it'll push that to the API. Now, the API that we're using is called News API. We can look at the documentation. We go, and currently we're using the everything endpoint. Now, you can have different keywords or phrases. You can have the different search fields here. You can specify the sources that you want the articles pulled from. You can have the domains, page size, and then it'll kind of go over the response object. So basically how this flow works is that you go ahead and pull, up-to-date articles from using the News API. It goes to the split out node. It goes to the edit field node. Basically what the edit field node does is it only pulls the titles and article descriptions from the News API. It pushes it to this AI agent. Basically, all this first agent does is sorts through all the articles, because depending on the keyword you provided and the day that you're kind of scraping, they'll probably be anywhere between 100 to 200 article results, or even sometimes less or more, depending on how niche you want to go. So basically, this kind of looks at each title and description, and it kind of rates it if it's relevant or not to your specific channel. And we'll go ahead and look at the system message for that as well. And then this if node kind of only allows the relevant articles to pass through. And then finally, this last AI agent comes up with title and video ideas based on the relevant articles. So we already went over the API. Again, it's News API. You get 1,000 requests per month for free. I'll also include the link in the comments. So let's go ahead and run this, and then we can go through how this workflow works. Okay, so let's go through the workflow. Obviously, we have the manual trigger over here, then the code node that kind of pulls the date, and then let's go into the API. So basically what this API does is it pulls different articles based on the keyword you have in the parameters. So right now I have the value set to ChatGPT from yesterday to yesterday. So basically just from July 9th. I'm recording this on July 10th. So the most recent articles. We're sorting by relevancy, popularity, and published at. So kind of the most relevant, most popular, and recent articles published on ChatGPT from the domains and sources that the API has access to. And then obviously the language in English. So it gives you a bunch of different information, name of the domain or sources from, name of the author, title, description, URL image, when it was published, and the content. Okay, cool. So now let's take a look at the split out node. Basically, all this does is just makes it easier for me to process this further down the flow. So it just kind of makes it more organized. So it's not all one object that you're sending to the agent. Then we take a look at the edit node. So basically, I only want the JSON title and description. The content would be too much to kind of give the agent. It would take too much to process. So this is kind of a good kind of overview of what the topic or what the article would be about. So we have the title and the topic, and then we're pushing that to this first agent. Now let's take a look at the system message. Basically, I have the agent as an expert content curator and strategy analyst for a YouTube channel. Your sole purpose is to identify the most potent and relevant news articles to serve as inspiration for video content. I gave it the channel profile. So obviously I'm going to be using Agentic Bros, our own YouTube channel for this example. And I went over its task. You will be provided with 100 to 200 articles, each containing a title and description. Your task is to analyze this list and select the most relevant articles for the channel. And I gave it some evaluation criteria: novelty and timeliness, practical application, audience excitement. I also wanted to include listicles as relevant articles because those can be good to actually make content on. Um, and then I don't want anything included that's news or politically related. And I also gave it a specific output format. If the article is deemed relevant based on our criteria, it should output as relevant and include the JSON title and topic. And if it's not relevant, it should just simply say this does not align with the channel's goals. Now we could take a look at the output here. Not relevant, not relevant. It kind of goes over a few different things. And then it's marked a few articles as relevant. So let's make this page size bigger. And every so often we'll kind of see where it has deemed an article relevant and not relevant. Now, this is where the if node comes in. I only want the relevant articles to kind of go through. So, if the JSON input contains the word relevant, so it just makes it easier for me. That's why I kind of had on the other system, like the system message before the if node, that it should only output a specific way. Because before, what it was doing, it was explaining to me why the article was relevant, and the output actually wasn't consistent. So I kind of wanted it, in a consistent way that can kind of move it again farther along down the flow. So it just makes it easier. So it actually deemed 77 of the articles on ChatGPT from today not relevant to the channel based off the criteria, based on the channel profile I provided it with, and it pushed 19 items to this last agent, which basically gives you video ideas and a title idea. So based off the first article, create a tutorial demonstrating the new AI-centric web browser by OpenAI, showcasing its integrations with popular AI tools and how it can enhance productivity and workflows for developers and entrepreneurs. Title idea: unlocking the future for how to supercharge your workflow with OpenAI's new AI web browser. Now let's take a look at the system message. Obviously, this can be a lot more robust. Right now, I just have it as an expert YouTube strategist, analyze the provided headlines and article descriptions, and generate one video idea and title for each article. I also gave it the context for the channel again. So there's a lot more that you can actually go ahead and do. Maybe if you have specific best practices for coming up with titles, or if you have specific keywords that you want to go ahead and put in the API that you already know are ranking, or that are highly searched, but maybe they're low competition. Um, if you have best practices, so personally, me and my partner, we have a video process, or a system that we go through when we're planning out a video. So maybe even hooking up and training an agent on that would actually be very beneficial, because then you can kind of have a specific output or an expected output every time. There's a lot of different things that you can do when you're customizing these system messages for the agent. That's really where the power comes into this flow. The API is easy enough to call. It's free for 1,000 requests per month. The splitting out the edit nodes, the if node, that's all just kind of basic logic within n8n. The real power comes in in the models that you're using. So I'm using actually 4.0 mini. For some reason, OpenRouter was not working twice with 4.0 mini. It was just taking way too long. So I actually switched to the OpenAI node just for the second agent. But I'm using 4.0 mini for both agents. If you want to try and use a reasoning model for this title generator agent, maybe if you want to use a faster, smarter model for the initial kind of curator agent, there's a lot of different ways you can go ahead, continue to customize this. But this is just the base flow. I kind of wanted to put this out there just to kind of help you if you're stuck in a rut, content wise, if you're stuck in a rut, idea wise, just being able to kind of have a bunch of ideas that you can kind of pull from, and maybe find something that's relevant and researched. And then kind of expand on the idea that this agent provides. Obviously, again, at the end, you can have a Gmail node, email that node to yourself, maybe have this run once a week. There's a bunch of different things that you could do. Thank you again so much for tuning in. If you're building flows like this, if you're having trouble kind of working through error codes and troubleshooting, or running into a lot of roadblocks when building your initial AI agents or flows in n8n, please check out our AI automation troubleshooting tool, AI Gen Desk. Link will be in the comments. We're just launching. Really think that this tool can be a big help to pros and beginners alike. So go ahead, check that out. Again, if you're looking to make money with AI, check out our AI starter kit. Link will also, again, be in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.